Good afternoon, brethren. This is Big Judah, coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who was wisdom, who was the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson today and gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand the events that are currently going on, so we may have a much better understanding of the events that will soon come on the earth. Wanted to come here real quick with this video concerning the color of Quetzalcoatl. We've been hearing quite a bit about the fair god, or the white bearded god. Now, this Quetzalcoatl showed up as a white man with a beard, long flowing hair. You know, what's funny is that Gentiles are have been steady trying to put themselves in our history this entire time. Just like there's been other documentaries done about people of color, and they pretty much cast white people to play people of color. They've been doing the same things through through movies, historical documentaries, things of that sort. So wouldn't it make sense they would do the same thing in our religious practices? Interjecting their likeness into our belief system. That's what has been happening this entire time. And they did it with the Bible. They made it seem like the Bible was the white man's book. They did it with the Book of Mormon by interjecting themselves, by putting pictures of white people in there and white Indians and everything else. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at a primary source and not secondary sources, not opinions. See, this is what happens is when the Gentiles were in charge, when Esau and the other Gentiles were in charge, they were allowed to say whatever it is they wanted to, and pretty much everyone took it like it was a primary source. If they say it, it's the truth, and no one questions it. And that's how it's been, and that's the way it was allowed to be, because the Most High said it was their turn to reign, to run things. They had their time. So therefore, they had that as one of their blessings. The people just pretty much would believe anything that they say. They were very trustworthy. At least we thought they were. And if they told us that Jesus was white, we had no problem believing that. They told us that we were the Gentiles. We had no problem believing that. They told us that Jesus came and died for the whole world. White Jesus came and died for the whole world. We believe that. We just want to make sure that, hey, whatever it is, that we have an opportunity to believe. Well, now the truth is coming out that those were all pretty much lies. And now we're letting you know that the people of the Most High are people of color. Yahweh Shai, when he was here, was a man of color. And that if you want to have any chance at mercy, you're going to have to worship a power of color, and you're going to have to be subservient to his people of color. We were subservient to you when we thought Jesus was white. Now we're going to see if you really don't care what he looks like, and you'll do whatever it is that he wants you to do because you love him no matter what he looks like, and you love his people no matter what they look like. The things that we are now bringing to you is exactly what we've done. We were subservient to you. We thought that you were closer, you white people as well as Gentiles were closer to the Most High. So therefore we listened to you. We trusted you. Come to find out now that as we come at the end of our punishment, we're now being enlightened to the truth. So it's not about racism or whatever else. But you guys gave us this. Come on now. It's getting kind of comical at this point. Because, white Jesus is your guys' answer for everything. You want us, that's what put you on the map. That's what made it so that we actually listen to you. This picture cracks me up because it's just like, come on, man. I said, you guys weren't any part of any of this stuff. When you guys came over here to the Americas, You guys had nothing to do with the fact that the natives already knew all the stuff that you knew and more. You had nothing to do with the fact that these people knew Christianity tenets better than you did. And you had to hide that because now you realize that all the information you had over there came from over here. And you couldn't allow people to know that. So then you had to inject yourselves into our belief system and give us this white and bearded God, this fair God. That's what you guys gave us. And for hundreds of years, hey, it's worked. You know, I'm going to read really quick before we continue from my Christ in Ancient America book, which is volume 2. This is on page 21, if you happen to have it. It's sources of information regarding the white and bearded God. Now we're going to look and see where this white and bearded God came from. Let's see. The most important record regarding the white and bearded God in ancient America is the Book of Mormon. This volume is an historical and religious record of the peoples who lived on this land from the time of the building of the Tower of Babel until AD 421. The account tells the story of 3 separate peoples: Jaredites, Nephites, Lamanites, and Mulekites, who migrated from Western Asia and developed into great nations on the Western Hemisphere. The prophet historians of these people recorded the religious teaching and history of their races as the events occurred, thereby making their accounts historically accurate. Next paragraph. The second source of evidence regarding the fair God is found in the writings of Indian historians who wrote shortly following the Spanish conquest of the New World. So check this out right here. That's really important. They wrote, shortly following the Spanish conquest of the New World. So the Spanish came over, destroyed these people, destroyed their way of life. So what do you think they were going to write about? You think they're going to write about a black Jesus that came thousands of years ago? Or are they going to maybe be told that they need to actually inject some I don't know, white bearded God who came in, a fair looking God, who came thousands of years ago? I mean, so we'll see. We're going to continue in a little bit, okay? So again, the second source of evidence regarding the fair God is found in the writings of Indian historians who wrote shortly following the Spanish conquest of the New World. These accounts were written primarily in Mexico, including Yucatan and in Guatemala. These documents should give us reliable information, since the authors accounted the traditions of their forefathers, which had come to them either in oral or written form. All right. A third source, an important and voluminous one, is the writings of the early Spanish chroniclers. Yeah, we can really trust those guys, huh? Because they've been telling the truth the entire time, and they haven't been hiding information, right? So yeah, early Spanish chroniclers who recorded the history and religious beliefs and customs of the Native Americans shortly after the discovery of the New World. These writers were usually Catholic priests who spent many years doing missionary work. Now remember, a lot of these priests would send their works to Spain and the Vatican, and then it would never get published or would get lost for hundreds of years, okay? So let me see here. Many years doing missionary work among the Indians. Well, this is what they wrote. They received directly from the Aborigines and became well informed regarding the religious customs, rites, practices, and traditions of the Indians. The fact that they received their information firsthand adds to their reliability of their accounts. Okay, so like I said, a lot of this stuff kind of taken with a grain of salt because you can only believe whatever, I don't believe much of anything these Gentiles have said. But that's me. Now, I'm going to read a little bit right here. Quetzalcoatl and the Irony of Empire, Myths and Prophecies in the Aztec Tradition. Okay? Because we're going to be going for a primary source, okay? So down towards the end here. Indeed, in a recent, highly respected bibliography of Mesoamerican religions, it is stated that the best single source for the study of ancient Mexican religions is Sahagun's General History, which is a prose, Spanish, and Nahuatl account of pictorial and oral traditions originally done in the native style. Okay? So we're going to be looking at this general history shortly. Actually, right now, here we go. Florentine Codex, Book 1. Let's take a look at how they themselves drew Quetzalcoatl. Do they draw him as a white, bearded god? I mean, I think that would be kind of important because the vast majority of the people who were here were people of color. So I kind of think like a white bearded guy is going to stick out like a sore thumb. So probably this guy should look totally different than the vast majority of the people that were here, right? All right, let's see how they drew him. He doesn't necessarily look white, but that's supposed to be Quetzalcoatl right there. It's not looking too good. Not looking like what they said he was going to look like. And this would be a primary source. This would be like one of the best ones. So I'm sure that if this is one of the best ones, it's going to look exactly like the way they actually told us he's going to look, right? A white dude, bearded, long flowing hair and everything else, right? All right, well, let's see. Let's listen a little bit here. Let's see. 5th chapter, which telleth of the god named Quetzalcoatl, plumed serpent. Quetzalcoatl, he was the wind, he was the guide, the road sweeper of the rain gods, of the masters of the water, of those who brought rain. And when the wind increased, it was said, the dust swirled up, it roared, howled, became dark, blew in all directions. There was lightning, it grew wrathful. Now this is their own people. This is the natives' own accounts of Quetzalcoatl, okay? Not a secondhand account from a Gentile. This is what they said, okay? And he was thus arrayed. He had a conical ocelot skin cape. His face was covered with soot. He was adorned with spiral wind and mesquite symbols. He had a curved turquoise mosaic ear pendant. He wore a gold neckband of small seashells. He bore the precious, pleasant device on his back. He had ocelot skin anklets with bells. He wore a cotton bone ribbed jacket. His were the shield with the windshell design, the curved inlaid spear thrower, and also the foam sandals. But take a look at that picture up top. Not looking too white, not looking too bearded. I mean, he might have had a beard, okay. Maybe he doesn't have a beard here, okay, in this picture, but he doesn't look like he's pictured as white. They have plenty of other pictures of these white gods, and he doesn't look like this. But just in case you think that maybe, maybe there's other pictures that actually show him white in the in this book, in the Florentine Codex, Book 1. Now remember, this is a primary source. It's going to be really close to the time of when the Spanish got here. And they were trying to get more of the accurate, older information at this point. And this is like actually probably considered one of the best primary sources. So don't worry about the Book of Mormon or whatever else at this point, because like I said, they're definitely going to, when they got a hold of our records, they're going to manipulate things. They're going to change words. They're going to interject themselves. They're going to make black a curse and make sure that white skin is like the best thing ever because it was their time. So if it's their time, shoot, if it's my time, I'm going to make everything work for me. I'm going to make big dudes are the best. I'm going to change the scripture and say, we're the best. Big guys are the best. These are the guys you need to be with. I'm going to change it to anything that I look like. I'm going to try to make sure that, hey, guys with big black dudes with beards are the best. We're the godliest. Okay. I'm going to interject myself however I want. Guys with big feet, they're the best. But that's what they did. So they had white skin. That's all they had to roll with. So that's what they're going to interject into their time to run. They're going to put that in their Bible. They're going to take that. I'm going to make sure I put all my attributes that I have. I'm going to make those the most godly. Okay. I'd do the same thing if I was them. So, okay, you had your time, but just know eventually that information is going to be debunked by the Most High. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. All right. So now let's take a look at another picture. Same book. Oh, here we go. Upper left, number 5, Quetzalcoatl again. Man, he's not looking too white here. He's actually looking kind of, got some nice chocolatey skin going on right there. So he's not looking like the way that they portrayed him in later accounts. He's not looking too white. This is supposed to be the God who showed up and who's had all this influence on all these different tribes all over the continent, North, Middle, South Americas, all that. This is the guy right here. This is how the natives drew him. Not looking exactly like the fair god or the white bearded god. It's kind of looking like three strikes here, and the white bearded god might be out now. Because when you look at the primary source, why do you think they were burning everything? Why do you think they were burning all of our information, burning all the genealogies, burning all the history? And then the Most High made them go back and get this information and rewrite it and get the most accurate that they could. And this is what they drew for Quetzalcoatl. So I want to know exactly how you're going to explain that away. Oh, no, you're not going to explain it away. You're just going to ignore that information and give us your opinion. And then say that this is what the natives told them. So I just want to make sure you got a chance to kind of see what a primary source looks like and how the primary sources drew Quetzalcoatl. So you can pause it and take a look at that real quick. Next, I just got this book here, Archaeology and the Book of Mormon. This book it's got some good information, but it's pretty funny because the dude is just pretty much going through and trying his best to explain how white people are the Nephites and black people and people of color are the Lamanites, and how there's just pictures of white and black people all over the place. Now, and some of the other books I've been reading was talking about how after the Spanish got here, they went on an expedition of pretty much whitewashing everything that they possibly could. When I find that again, I will, try to throw that in one of the videos as well. But I'm just going to show you guys a couple of things about what they did as far as interjecting this white god in order to elevate white people. This is on page 44. Let's see here. Talking about Sahagun again. One of the most, and right there in the middle, one of the most important of the writers was Bernardino de Sahagun. He lived in Mexico from AD 1529 to 1590 and produced a scholarly work in Aztec in the latter part of the 16th century. It is one of the most reliable and comprehensive reports concerning the ancients of Middle America. It was first published in Spain in 1529, and since then portions of it have been published in English. All right. Now, what you have to know is that when Sahagun actually had it, I think he had written all this information, and it just magically disappeared for hundreds of years. Man, like I said, these Jews are like the worst record keepers I've ever heard of. They'd be losing stuff left and right. Losing this for 200 years, losing this for 300 years. I see. So these guys are constantly losing stuff. But then it just magically pops back up, hundreds of years later. And no different here. Okay? So, again, they're telling you that Sahagun's writings are some of the most reliable and comprehensive. So when I go to Sahagun's writings and I see this for Quetzalcoatl, who should I believe then? A guy who was closer to that time and get an accurate description from the original people? Or should I listen to Gentiles? I'm venturing to say I probably want to listen to the people that were closer to that time, who actually were living at that time. Okay, next one. Yeah, this is pretty hilarious too. Take a look at the top. The murals portray people as white, as a Caucasian, or let me read it slow. The murals portray people as white, as a Caucasian race of Europe, and as the Semitic Hebrews. So they're trying to equate the white people with the Semitic Hebrews, okay? And other races of the Mediterranean world. The skin color of many of the others closely resembles the bronze-skinned natives of America, known since the days of Columbus as Indians. Interspersed among these are also a few representations of black people, as dark as the darkest Negroes. What the hell does that mean? What's your point? You know, so it's kind of like just like on the side. Yeah, there's some natives here. There are bronze colored. There's these black people that are just over here too. But the main point is that the white people, the Caucasian races, are the Semitic Hebrews because it's his opinion. Okay. So check this out. The question immediately arises, who are these white and dark peoples depicted in the Banapak murals? Now, this is what even a couple of videos I told you guys even before. You have to differentiate between someone's opinion and facts. Many times we look at things and just because someone says it, these Gentiles have been presenting their opinions as facts forever. So we just don't even really think, we don't even listen to things when they say things. Okay, this dude, this is what he says right here. It is the opinion of the writer that the bronze-skinned persons and the white people are descendants of the Lamanites and the Nephite races, which are described in the Book of Mormon. All right? So it is the opinion of the writer that the bronze-skinned persons and the white people are descendants of the Lamanites and the Nephite races, which are described in the Book of Mormon. Now, he's giving you his opinion. Now, in a minute, they're going to expand on that opinion shortly as to who the white people are and who the bronze people. So they don't even talk about the black people. The black people are just they're just like discarded, put in a corner. He's like, I don't really care who the black people are. I'm just talking about the bronze people and the white people. The black people, who could care? Who cared less? Right? That's kind of like what his whole opinion here. That's the way he's kind of shaping his argument right here. But check this out. We got the serpent as symbols of the white bearded god, whom they named Quetzalcoatl, and whom they worshipped with their diverse pagan practices. Okay? As is well known, two peoples, a white race and those of a darker color, inhabited ancient America for approximately 1,000 years' time. The white race was called Nephites, and the darker race Lamanites. Speaking of their skin color, Nephi declared that the Lord, now remember, this dude just told you this is his opinion. These are just his opinions. So then they're going to have to then get these, if that's what they want, they're going to have to put this kind of stuff in books. So then that's why they have the Nephi declared that the Lord had caused the cursing to come upon them, Laman and his associates. Wherefore, as they were white and exceeding fair and delightsome, the Lord God did cause a skin of blackness to come upon them. Come on now. You see, there you go again. Approximately 500 years later, Alma wrote, and the skins of the Lamanites were dark, according to the mark, which was a curse upon them, because of their transgression and their rebellion against their brethren, who consisted of Nephi, Jacob, and Joseph, and Sam, who were just and holy men. All right? So right there, just letting you know, they wanted to make sure they were considered the Nephites. So they threw themselves in there. You got your white bearded God that doesn't, doesn't even connect with the oldest and some of the best primary sources. So then they threw themselves in there as the Nephites, and anybody of color were Lamanites. Okay? So these are all based off of their opinions that were based on facts. But if you go back to one of the best primary sources, they did not show Quetzalcoatl as a white bearded god. So now there's a problem. Who are we going to believe? Your opinion or the native's opinion, who was closer to the truth? I know who I'm going to believe. And it's not going to be the person who's pretty much just made up and lied about absolutely everything and presented his opinions as facts this entire time. Other people need to make their own decisions, but I think this kind of makes a case right here that the white bearded god was not something that was actually disseminated through our Hebrew brethren before. But after the fact that the Edomites and other Gentiles got here and they wanted to have their chance to reign, they were going to pretty much make themselves the most desirable, put themselves on top, and that included in creating a white God, a white Jesus, and white people on top. That's what these people brought when they came over here. They brought their religion, they brought their white Jesus, and they brought death and destruction. And they brought their religion. So when I see that white Jesus, that's me at the bottom right there, laughing. Like, come on, man. I said, I can't even take you serious anymore. I said, show me some primary sources that show me a white bearded God. Show me some primary sources of us people of color over here worshiping your white Jesus. Come on now, you guys need to get serious at this point. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.